Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today once again with the blog post that was previously posted here, introducing Old Man Logan. But as well, I think what's even more alarming is the changes that are coming to the Legendary Trials. For the first one being this year, obviously Old Man Logan's going to be a super exciting character to be had, but the entire format is really changing, and it's a huge setback actually for the free-to-play folks. That's kind of what I want to focus on in this video, just because my first video mainly talked about what's getting updated and what we're looking forward to in terms of the characters and teams coming about. But in case you guys did not see that video, let me just recap for you. The Old Man Logan Trials is going to be slotted in a couple weeks. Commanders level 50 can engage, but there are some pretty sizable changes, right? As you can see right here, these are the big ones. Players are going to be able to unlock Old Man Logan at 4 stars by collecting their input teams and completing difficulty 8. So difficulty 8 is going to be the bare minimum, where there isn't that yellow star requirement. However, beyond that, then you're going to be needing characters actually at higher levels. So there's 5 new difficulties getting added, up to a maximum of 15 difficulties now, and it's pretty bad, guys. It's pretty bad for the free-to-play community. It's actually even pretty bad for light spenders, because having these minimum levels now, it's essentially creating this pay-to-play game. Maybe Scopely's revenues are down quite a bit and they just need another kind of avenue to access this, but it's a really bad strategy, because typically in the past, these Scourges and Legendary Trial events are some of the best that are run. It gives players, even those free-to-play or light spending, the opportunity to theorycraft, to really use their creative juices to work their ways through the nodes, working their strategy up and actually accomplishing and even actually competing better than some folks that do spend in the game that maybe aren't as well versed with the strategy involved, right? But the good news is that there is a minimum score of 100,000 in the leaderboard scoring, so there's going to be an opportunity for folks to engage in the rewards. But what's going to be a really big issue, however, is for folks that just want a bigger Old Man Logan. So a run score of 930,000 points is needed to unlock a 4-star on Old Man Logan. And again, this has to be done on difficulty 8. This is the first run that's coming that has a leaderboard too. So this is it. Based on reading this verbiage here, it sounds like this is going to be the only time that you can actually get a 7 or 6 yellow on Old Man Logan. After that, I'm not really sure. It creates more questions than clarity with this comment, so hopefully we're going to get some more information here. There's also Crimson Gear, there's Red Stars being available, but again, we don't really know what's going to be missing from this leaderboard after it's done, after this event has concluded. Now, what I do want to spend some time talking about is these nasty new star level requirements, because it's just super gated now. We kind of saw this already with Escape from Kiln, but I made that decision not to invest in Spire Society and Cabal because, for me personally, especially being free to play and my resources being quite finite, I didn't want to invest in at this time on these characters just so that I can engage on diamonds that I wouldn't even really be able to access on my Gwenem, just because I don't have her at 7 yellow. So what was the point for me? There was some materials to be had, but I mean, I'm going to get that over time anyways. Now, what I also want to point out is that there was just straight up lies and miscommunication of the Cabal team. Originally in the Marvel Strike Force blog post, when they first announced this team, it was communicated that Cabal is required for a legendary. Shortly afterwards, Archangel, I think, communicated back to Mobile Gamer saying that Cabal was actually not needed for the next legendary character, which in this case is Old Man Logan. So just terrible messaging, back and forth, absolutely atrocious. And I feel bad for Archangel, because he was probably just told what to say to us as the public, but sometimes, guys, it's just better not to say anything if you're not sure. And if you're going to put something in the blog post, don't revise it afterwards. It's just absolutely atrocious. We saw this even with Escape from Kiln as well, where Spire Society and Undying were, recommended, but they weren't actually required. Well, I mean, they're basically required for some of the nodes. So, just absolutely terrible messaging, guys. But this right here, this is probably what's going to be, causing a lot of turmoil in the community, in addition to folks even potentially leaving, because this is an absolutely terrible update here. The out of time Cabal team, and even adding characters like Emma Frost and Loki now being required because Cabal is only a 3-piece team. Very terrible here. Just because you're forced, we're back to that strategy where, you're trying not to encourage folks to build up teams that you need, but then at the same time, now you are basically telling us what we have to build in order to engage in this content. So it takes away the theory crafting aspect. I feel like they could have put in, other villains here combined with Cabal. It probably would have been more valuable. But instead, now we have to build Emma Frost and Loki if you want to engage in elevated content. And even worse is the difficulties 11 and above now. You need 5 stars. You need 5 stars minimum for all of your out of time characters and Cabal. Loki and Emma is not going to be an issue, but the big issue is the fact that we have 2 new teams, guys. We have out of time and Cabal, and especially Black Knight being gated behind. Well, he doesn't have a farmable method right now, so he's basically, initially if you're using power cores or spending to unlock him. So right away, right off the gate, many players are not going to have access to this. And as well, the other Cabal members where, they're not available right now. And this event starts in a couple weeks. Just very terrible, guys. I don't know what the heck's happening over there with the logic and the strategy, but I bet you anything right now, though, the Whales and Krakens do appreciate this because they probably will. They probably have all these characters already at 7 stars, so they're just going to, start off difficulty 15. And it doesn't sound like you need any packs actually even engaged. So you just need to essentially have those character levels already elevated. And boom, just like that, they're handed the 6 to 7 yellow star of Logan because of the fact that there's no one else really competing with them in the top ranking. So I don't know. This is pretty bad, guys. Like the competition level is going to be lower. The theory crafting is going to be bad. I'm not a spender, so I already know where I'm reaching. I'm going to hope that I can get to difficulty 10, difficulty 9, because that's all I can get to, right? Because after that, it's 5 stars being required for out of time and Cabal, and I know I'm not going to have access to that, guys. So absolutely terrible. I don't know what's happening over there. Some of the updates and the messaging has just been so bad as of late. And the worst part is that when they make these updates and these events, they sound like they're announcing like the newest kind of exciting content, but it's just getting worse and worse. Like these events are absolutely, backwards. They're confusing. People have to read very carefully and understand what's happening and to engage in the content. And to top that off now, whenever there are changes in the game, they're taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back for these events, right? And now this is going to be the worst thing is that the Whales are going to get access to a character because there's going to be a lack of competition. Free-to-play folks are going to get, disappointing and discouraged here to compete because of the fact that before they could actually compete very well, and now we're going to be gated here at difficulty 10. It's terrible for myself because I definitely don't spend, so I know I'm not going to be getting, this engaged content until the next running of this, which is very unfortunate for myself, but I'm not going to be spending because of this. Anyways, guys, do what's best for yourself, but even worse is that I think even for light spenders, folks that actually already put money into Cabal, into out of time, they may not have 5 stars, even though you guys already spent money into these characters. So even putting money, you may not be able to access this, and I think that is the biggest victim right here is the light spenders that were just trying to engage in a bit of content, maximize a bit of shards here and there, and you're still not able to engage even though you have spent. At the end of the day, it's the wallet that's doing all the talking here, and that's a terrible way for this game and the direction of the game.